Hello people, my name is Sunny Dove, and this is the mod talk prior to episode 9 of my Let's Play Fallout 4 Survival Mode. We've just updated to Steam Beta version 1.5.154 as it pertains to this Let's Play. This update is pretty much just a preparatory update for Far Harbor, as well as Bethesda.net modding, and I suppose the creation kit. We're all going to get to mod, even the console people soon. Awesome. But as far as how it affected me, and likely anyone else who's modding on the PC in the survival beta, you'll have to manage your mods from within the game client for a bit, till they update Nexus Mod Manager and Mod Organizer, or whatever else you use. I don't know what's out there, to be honest. Because the plugins.txt file no longer dictates which mods are loaded and in which order they are loaded. It's been moved to somewhere else. I don't know exactly where. But until those apps update, you'll have to manage your mods from within the game client at the main menu. The only complaint I have about this is that, like all the rest of the user interface, it screams of console port. It's really, really clunky feeling. It doesn't seem like it's designed for a mouse and keyboard. You have to scroll through really far to see your mods. You can't see all of them on screen at once, and you have to continuously press X to rearrange them. But, you know, whatever. I'll live with it. Nexus Mod Manager will probably get updated, and I'll be able to use that again. Besides that, I have changed a bunch of visual mods for my game personally. And it all started with my complaint about the God Rays. Ultra God Rays cost too much performance, and low God Rays, and medium and high for that matter, look terrible with the aliasing around certain objects. So what I decided is I'm going to have to drop the God Rays. But if I drop God Rays, I don't want my game to look too bland. So I started looking through ENB and reshade presets, and the one I decided on is an ENB called Subtle ENB. It has a really nice color palette. Everything looks really realistic. The shadows look nice. Colors aren't too vibrant. They don't pop too much. They don't look cartoony. They looked just washed out enough to look like real life, in my opinion. This ENB really fits my personal taste quite well. It also doesn't have an overly done... what's it called? Depth of field, right. It doesn't have an overly done depth of field. It's not that crazy bokeh effect that lots of people like to use. That drives me crazy. I don't know why people like that, but it seems to be pretty good on the performance as well. I'm getting the exact same frame rate, as far as I can tell, on my frame rate counter as before when I was running just low God Rays. I also removed the vanilla game depth of field, so I'm just using the high quality depth of field included in this ENB. I also swapped out some other visual stuff, like Darker Nights. I swapped out for TrueNights, I think it's called, because it is a night lighting mod that is specifically designed to work with Subtle ENB and True Storms, which I also run. I also added a mod that will make the wasteland a little bit more green. It's called A Realistic Touch of Green, I believe. That might not be verbatim, but I'll have it listed in the description, so you'll surely be able to find it. It adds a bunch of green foliage to the Commonwealth, and I feel like that's really immersive because there's really no reason the foliage wouldn't come back somewhere in the course of 200 years since the bombs fell. Other than that, I dropped out a couple mods that I just hadn't used yet, like Dog Meat's Backpack, because I kind of expect someone to see that in the load order and be like, oh, you added a backpack for dog meat, it's going to add carry weight. That's not fair. That's making survival mode easier. And I'm just trying to avoid that kind of argument, even though I wasn't even going to use that mod for the purposes of that fortifying the carry weight of dog meat. If I built a backpack for him, I was going to just edit it to remove the spell effect to fortify his carry weight, because I didn't want to make survival mode particularly easier. But I just wanted to kind of avoid that argument. I haven't even been using dog meat in the first place, so there's no reason to even have that mod installed. I think that's just about it. Oh yeah, I also added the unofficial Fallout 4 patch, which is made by the same people that did the big patches for Skyrim and Oblivion from what I was reading, and it seems like from what I was going through of its records, it's all good bug fixes and it won't interfere with anything that I've added so far. So I just went ahead and slapped that at the top of the load order, and hopefully it will work out okay. I think that's just about it, guys. That's the majority of the important mods that I've changed and the version update for the Steam beta. If there's anything else I missed, I'll be sure to include it in the description of the video. Without further ado, let's get to episode 9. Go clicky clicky on episode 9, you know you want to. Let's get to Diamond City.